Hi everyone! Welcome to this educational video. Today, we're diving into how language can be a powerful tool to reduce inequality, especially in relation to Sustainable Development Goal 10, which focus on reducing inequalities within and among countries. Let's begin with the basic.
To address this issue, we will walk you through the points outlined in the following poster.
Language is not just a tool for communication, it shapes how we access education, opportunities, and equity in society. Sustainable Development Goal 10 or SDG 10 calls for reducing inequality, and that includes inequality in language education. Why? Because language affects who gets hurt, who gets help, and who gets left behind. If a child doesn't speak the dominant language used in school, they may struggle to keep up, not because they lack intelligence, but because the system isn't built for the linguistic background. So, in the context of SDG 10, making language education fair and inclusive is essential to closing the gap and giving every learner a fair shot. Not all children have the same chance to learn the standard or dominant language used in schools. In fact, many students grow up speaking local dialect or minority language that are not responses in classroom. It leads to what we call language-based inequality. Students who don't speak the dominant language often left out, discouraged, or even labeled as underachiever. Not because they are less capable, but because their language identity isn't supported. When we ignore these language barriers, we risk silencing voices and widening the education gap, especially for marginalized communities.
I will explain about L1 versus L2 learners. Language support matters. Without it, many learners fall behind. Why? Because L1 means a person's first language, the one they learn at home as a child. And L2 is the second language they learn, often used in school or in official settings. Why this is important? Because some students speak a different language at home, but have to learn in another language at school. If schools don't give help with the second language, the students might struggle or fall. All students should get the same chance to success, helping all two learners make education more fair and equal for everyone. Second, I will explain about code switching. Switching between languages or dialects is a stretch, not a mistake. Why? Because code switching means changing between two or more languages or dialects while speaking. For example, if a student speaks their home language with family but uses the national language at school, and then some people think code switching is a problem, but it's actually a skill. And why this is important? Because being able to switch language shows that a student is more and flexible with language. It helps them understand and connect better in different situations. So we should to respecting code switching helps make students more inclusive and supportive for all students.
Language bias is something that happens in schools more often than we think. It's when only the standard or proper language is considered smart or acceptable. And other ways of speaking, like local dialects or minority language, are looked down on. So kids who speak differently, maybe with a local accent or in their mother tongue, get corrected too often or even teased. And when that happens, they start to feel like the way they talk is wrong, or worse, like they are wrong. This creates silence, insecurity, and a big wall between them and the classroom. So, what can we do to fix that? Actually, there are some pretty doable steps we can take, both as educators and just as people who care. First, recognize and respect how students speak. Don't treat their mother tongue or dialect like it's a mistake, it's a part of who they are. Second, helps teachers become more inclusive. That means not just correcting speech, but knowing how to correct in a supportive way. Third, use stories, parts, or examples from local cultures in the classroom. Make students feel like their work matters. Fourth, let them switch between language when they are learning, especially if it helps them understand better. And last, push for schools policies that protect language diversity, not erase it. So to wrap things up, language isn't just a tool to communicate, it's a part of someone's identity, their story, their roots. When we ignore or look down on the way someone speaks, we are not just correcting grammar, we are making them feel like they don't belong. But we can change that with a bit awareness, empathy, and the willingness to learn. Schools can become a place where every student, no matter how they speak, feels heard, respected, and included. Thank you.